Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered with Peggy. If you're new here, hi, my name is Peggy Epele and you're welcome to my channel. If you're not, thank you so much for coming back. Today's episode is all about elections. Now, if you're in Nigeria or you've been listening to the news lately, you know that Nigeria had its presidential elections on the 25th of February 2023, and I can say for sure it has gone down to be one of the most controversial elections conducted in Nigeria ever. At least one that I've been alive to see, I've been here to see, and it's one that was really interesting because a lot of emotions were happening during elections, before elections, and after elections. We see that a lot of people's emotions and feelings differ in these places, hence why I've kind of subdivided this video into before elections and after elections. What are the reactions Nigerians are generally feeling, and how are we generally feeling right now as Nigerians? So let's get right into this video. All right, let's jump right into it. The first thing first is, before you can vote in Nigeria, you have to have gotten your PVC. Now, if you're Nigerian or you have gone through the PVC struggles in the past 1 year, you must know that the struggle to get your PVC in Nigeria was quite a stressful process. Now, that being said, most of us were able to get our PVCs and we're all ginger to vote, like ready, let us go and vote. This year, our voices must be heard, our votes must count, and we're all ginger to vote. Pre-elections, we were all very ginger to vote. Now, let's move on to election. On the 25th of February, elections were set to begin by 8:30 a.m. and finish at 2:30 p.m. Now, when I heard those times initially, I was like, Nigeria. Those times are very unrealistic. Now, mind you, on that day, there was not supposed to be any car movement. So everybody is supposed to go close to their polling units. So if it means traveling home to your polling units, go to where your polling units are, go as close as you can get to your polling units, so that day you just walk down and go to your polling units and vote. Now, that being said, a lot of Nigerians did that. A lot of people even lodged in hotels so that they could walk down to their polling units. People traveled as far as their hometown so that they could actually vote. Now, that shows you a good amount of dedication that went into this voting system this time around. Now, on that day, a lot of people arrived to their voting centers as early as 6 a.m., 5:30, 4 o'clock. People were already there waiting for voting to actually begin. I think they did it so that they don't have any excuse or have any reason not to come out and vote, or like maybe they say people didn't show up and all that. So people were genuinely dedicated. People came out in their numbers. I have videos of a primary school in Lugbe here where a lot of people, like the place was crowded. Literally, people were waiting for INEC officials to come out so that they can actually cast their vote. Moving on to voting. Actual voting was done manually by thumb printing on ballot papers and casting your vote. So you thumb print on ballot papers, fold it, and put it into like a transparent container. Now, mind you, in 2023, Nigeria is still voting via ballot papers. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with ballot papers, but if you can bring out a software to store voters' credentials and accreditations, why not do the same and just make it easy to just vote electronically? What's the difference between why you do that accreditation by thumbprint or by facial scan? You just click on the party you want to vote for. Simple. Done it electronically, simple and direct. But no, we chose that we must do paper ballots system so that we'll find our way around it. That's very weird. When I heard about beavers, I thought yes, we were going to vote electronically, until I heard and read more about it and saw that you actually have to vote manually. Now, that's very interesting. Now, that being said, it's fine. A lot of people came out, they voted. People came out in their numbers, they voted.
Anybody that is Reporting live for C Abuja from my city center polling unit at FCD quarters. People have
despite the challenges, guys, despite the challenges, there are so many challenges that people face during this election. We even saw that people lost their lives in this election. That cannot be taken for granted. People lost their lives in this election. People lost their properties, their phones. They were wounded. There were places where ballot boxes were seized. Talks came about, took up the ballot boxes, stole the papers. Some ran away with the boxes. Some burnt it. Some
Can you see what is happening now? They want to make sure they suppress others from voting.
They are shooting gun, no. We came to vote. They are shooting gun everywhere. They are chasing people.
Earlier on in the morning, around 11:50 a.m., while I was on Instagram Live, a couple thugs came. They were snatching phones and beating people at my polling unit. They snatched my phone, but I was able to get it back. They destroyed a couple of ballot boxes before the military eventually arrived.
Some centers, the INEC officials were inside manually thumbprinting on the ballot papers by themselves. To show you how interesting this election was, like, while voters were outside waiting for them to come out so that they can actually vote, they were there thumbprinting it themselves. The army officials that were sent there to help conduct peace or help regulate peace in this place, or help guide the place so that peace can be maintained, were instead guiding the INEC officials so that they can do what they have to do. Anyway, amidst all that disruption, voting still went on. And the most interesting thing I saw about this time voting is that a lot of people stayed back to make sure that their votes were counted. Not just, oh, we voted and go home. They actually waited. Some people waited up till 12 midnight, past 12, 2 a.m. Stayed there until their votes were counted and uploaded in the beavers. Now,
177, Labour Party, 178, Labour Party, 179, Labour Party, 180.
Now, when it comes to the beavers, there were also certain centers where a lot of INEC officials refused to upload these results because they said they didn't have passwords, they didn't have lights in the beavers. I even saw a video where a man went home and brought his generator so that they could connect it to the beaver and so that they could upload the results to the beaver. That was one of the most interesting one I've seen. Like, that shows you dedication, though. That shows you the amount of dedication people put into this election. Like, people even had to do hotspots for them so that they don't hear any excuse. They don't want to hear that, oh, this happened, we could not upload it. There was a video that surfaced where the INEC official was intentionally trying to manipulate the results that were brought in from the voting centers in the INEC office. People were trying to tell him that, oh God, this thing you're doing is wrong. He was not even listening to them. He was just doing what he had to do. So this election is one that went down in the history of Nigeria because things we did not know before, our eyes are now open to it. Things we knew before, we are now seeing graphic images, video images that prove that, okay, this thing is actually happened. And now we have evidence. Now we have proof that if we say that, oh, this election there was some mago thing or there was rigged by any chance, we actually have proof that this is what it is. Now, after all this, results were then taken and was supposed to be announced the following day. Now, from what we saw, and results were announced on national TV for about 2.5 days, and we saw that INEC officials called on each state or zonal INEC staff to come out and read out the results manually. They were showing us this results in like something that looks like Excel spreadsheet in a paper. They showed it on the screen. They called this party so party 112, so party 231. Oh, on national TV, Nigerian election. That's how they gave us our results. Like, okay, we're not mad at it. The fact that they gave us results, we have to appreciate it. Now, these results were quite staggering because the results they were showing were surprising. A lot of people that went out to vote were asking themselves, I beg, where these numbers emerge from? Where did they get those figures? Because it doesn't tally with what they have from their voting centers. So a lot of people kept wondering how managed. It's almost like they know that these results are wrong, but they don't care. They feel like nothing can be done. When we try to question it, or when parties try to question it, they tell them, go to court. If you have any grievances, any issues, take it to the court. We have nothing to say to you. This is the result that we have given you. That's the result it is. There's nothing we can do about it. That is not, that process is very flawed. I'm sorry. That whole process of voting manually, thumbprinting, I feel like it's entirely flawed. What was the point of having beavers if we couldn't use the beavers to vote? I mean, the beavers, this is a software. If you can get a software that we can use to keep our details, why not create one where we can just thumbprint and vote and it uploads? We are not the first that will do it. Kenya's election, we could see the voting online. I remember then I was like, are they serious? Are they for real? Like, it was clear, just like American election. The Kenyan one was clear, whether you're registered or not. All you need to do is go to the site. You will see once someone votes, it counts to each party that voted. It was clear and fair. We cannot call this a clear and fair election. I'm sorry. I don't see how it is. But that being said, there's nothing we can do about it unless we take it to court. Now, in the early hours on Wednesday, on the 29th of February, the winning electoral candidate was announced, and it is in the person of His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and it was a rejoicing time for them. Although I didn't get to see the video, I got to see it after because a lot of us were sleeping and stuff like that. But that being said, he won with a total vote of 8,794,726 votes. The states where he won was Rivers, Borno, Jigawa, Zamfara, Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Niger, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, and Oyo states. Now, these are the states where he won the election, and therefore INEC decided that he has the highest vote and they have given him the office. Now, that being said, that's fine and good. We're not going to kill ourselves about that. It has happened, and that's it. Now, after that, we saw that the new state president came up and gave his speech thanking everyone for voting him, although he said some people don't like the fact that he's here, but he's here, they should just accept it, and all that. If I have a clip, I'll probably put it here. And he thanked everyone and said that he's here to serve. So let us see. Now, the mood from that day completely changed. After that announcement was made, people's mood completely changed. You will see the difference in moods of before or during election to after elections. Now, mind you, before election itself, there was no cash. We were running on cashless Nigeria. Like, there were new currencies that were brought into the system sometime late last year, and we're told that we had to give in our old currencies by the end of January, and we see that a lot of people did that. And while we did that, the banks didn't have cash to give us. Now, this led to a lot of frustration in the country. People were angry, people were frustrated. A lot of things happen in banks. Some banks are not even functioning anymore because when they have no cash, when customers come, they are angry, they want to. It was just, the thing was just going up and down. Now, that being said, I'm going to a point where just a few hours before I started filming this video, I got an alert that Pulse Nigeria posted, and it reads, Supreme Court has ruled that Godwin Emefiele's Naira redesign policy violates the Nigerian constitution and ordered that old 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes remain legal tenders till the end of December. That's December 30th, 2023. Now, my question is, if this new nose is not accepted or violates the constitution, why then extend the last date of taking or of using the current or like the old currency? Why are you extending the date? Why not just scrap the old currency and let's keep using our currency? Right from day one, everybody that saw the new currency were wondering what's going on. Our old currency looked way better and finer than the new one. It even feels much better. I wish I had it to show you, but there's no cash right now. There's no cash. It feels a lot better. The difference in it was quite clear. Now, a lot of people are surprised. When I read that thing, I was like, wow, life after election, we have officially begun. So now that we don't even have money, now that a lot of banks have been destroyed because their customers don't have money and they've come to harass them at the bank or they've come to disturb them, how do you want them to recover? Like, how do they start recovering from all that? Why do you necessarily put Nigeria into such stress? Do you get why do you have to put Nigeria under such stress? Now, that being said, that does not even count as the emotional trauma that a lot of people have gone through after election. I saw a video of a man crying, a woman was crying. They were crying because they felt that this election was one of their best hope. They felt like if the candidate that they were thinking would win, or they were hoping would win, or they have voted for that will win, they feel like Nigeria will be going forward. Because right now, I don't know where we are heading to. The rate of dollar is here, the rate of pounds is here. We don't even know where we are going. So the emotions after elections were quite different. People were angry, people were sad, people were depressed, people were defeated. A lot of people even lost faith in God. People said, after all the prayer I don't pray, or after all the prayers I've prayed, see where it ended up. You know, a lot of emotions have been involved in this election, and we see that people have gone through stages of their emotions, and frankly, I don't blame them. When I saw a video of a boy wanting to cut off his PVC, or like, what's the point of having a PVC? Now, I get it. I get all the emotions. I get how Nigerians generally are feeling. But I would say, let's not give up. The fight is not over. Let's not believe that this is the end of the whole thing. No. There are still other elections coming up, so let us not just give up. The gubernatorial election is coming up on the 11th of March. This is where we get to decide who is going to be our governors. You know, we need to make sure that we go out to vote. I know this might sound like, oh, the one we voted the last time, how did it come out? Do you know the amount of momentum we have built in the? Do you know that as a citizen, your voice has counted, your vote has counted, in as much as you feel like, oh, what we thought it was going to come out is not what is coming out. You have to, now you have evidence. Before, we didn't have evidence. Now we know that we are the structure that they are saying, oh, there's no structure. Now we know that we are the structure. Now we know that there's power in our voice, there's power in our unity. Let's not allow all this plenty talks derail us from our goal. Our goal is for a better Nigeria, and that being said, Nigeria cannot be changed in one day. I don't believe Nigeria can be changed in one day. It's a process. So that being said, I encourage everyone who still has their PVC to please go out and vote in the upcoming elections. Choose the right people to govern your state. Choose the right people to represent you locally in your state. Make sure that you go out of your way peacefully to vote, because there is nothing like a united voice, a united front. That way we have hope that there is going to be a better Nigeria. Now, life after election still continues, because yesterday the Labour Party held their first conference after election. Here, their presidential candidate Peter Obi was present. He was there to answer questions and also encourage Nigerians not to give up. I strongly agree to what he said. Don't give up. Hope is not lost. You might be delayed, but hope is not lost. He also made a statement I want to say here. He says he's going to be challenging the process. He's not challenging anyone. I mean, they told him to go to court. That's what the INEC chairman said. So he says, okay, they will go to court and present their grievances, present their what? Their evidence. They have evidence to present. And this is one thing he said, let me try and do for the word. He said he's going to go to court because he won and he has evidence to prove it. Now, this raised a lot of concerns, a lot of questions. People were throwing him questions. What's the evidence? What's the proof? And he told them something. He said, if I answer questions on my way to court, what do I then present to the court? It's simple. So if you want to see his evidence, or you want to hear what his evidence is, come to court. Or when he gets to court, bring yourself there and you will find out. Nigerians, let us be hopeful. There is nothing like a hopeful society. Let us not give up hope. We have prayed, we have fasted, we have committed in the hands of the Lord. We have gone through several emotions. I know it's not easy. I know it's not I know it's not even easy to talk about, but let us be hopeful that we are going to get there. And one thing he also said yesterday was, power is not given. Don't expect that you're requesting for power. Giving power over to you is not easy. Having the presidential office is not easy. It's a powerhouse. So if you want that power, you have to take it. And you don't just take it from the head. You take it gradually. You don't just go there and collect the power. Now, don't get me wrong. The Bible says the violence taketh it by force. So yes, you can go there and take it up, but you have to be sure of yourself. Don't go there and then when there's small blockage or opposition, you begin to shake, you begin to tremble. No, go there with your faith held up high. Go there together, go there strong. Know that this power, I'm going to get you. So that's one thing we need to remember. Power is not given to us, power is taken. So if we want to take the power, we have to make sure that we keep fighting and keep fighting peacefully. Now that's life after election. I'm so glad there was no massive protest. I think I heard of one somewhere in Abuja, but I don't think it lasted. I don't think, maybe just that day and that was it. But I'm very happy that there was no massive protest, because we have seen that protesting does not bring about anything good for us. So let us just stick to what we know. Go and find power, go and collect power, and do it gradually. No need to be showing our faces too much, or to say, oh, let's go and protest. Protest does not really bring anything. It's my own opinion. Let us find other ways to collect power and do it peacefully as well. Yeah. That brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. If there's something you want to add to what I have said, let me know in the comment section below as well. I'll be happy to read it. If you stayed this long or you joined halfway and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below. Share, like, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Until then, remain blessed, remain happy, and don't forget that your voice counts, and go out to vote. Yeah, bye guys.